In this video, I'm going to try and show how to make raindrops for your dioramas. This can also be applied to armored vehicles or any kind of vehicles. I'll show the products that I use. This is just my own method that I kind of came up with, but the idea is to show like the various raindrops as if the scene of what you're doing, whether it's a diorama or a vehicle again, to make it seem as if it's actually actively raining outside. And this is just sort of a light rain. You could, the subject that I did is sort of just a light rain. It isn't a like a crazy amount of rain. And I'll go into the products. I'll do some close-ups of mine. It's the reason why I'm kind of making this is more a simplified version of doing it, that anyone can get these products, I'm sure, and it doesn't involve anything like the UV lights or resin or anything like that. Obviously, you can get spectacular results with those products, and I'm sure there's other videos. This is more of a fast way of doing it that anyone could probably replicate this method. This is just a closer up so you can see sort of the like the goal of this is to try and make a 3D effect so they look like the drops are actually splashing down. I'll have a look at some of the products here now. So I'll move this out of the way. The only things I'm going to be using to do this, and the most important one, is this Testors product here, which is the clear glass. There is probably other products you could use, but this is the way the applicator is why this is probably the most important product, because you can lay tiny little droplets down. So I'm not like trying to promote just this Testors one. If you can find another applicator for clear glass like this from a different company, it's probably going to be just as good, but this stuff is excellent. I'm also going to use like for what I did on my Vignette is this Vallejo, which is, it's just an acrylic product. It's not like one of their enamel products, and it's the Wet Effects. This stuff is good because it's got that little bit of a green tinge to it. It needs to be stirred up still, but it has a little bit of a green tinge, which is sort of like it makes the rain look more realistic when it's actually put down on the ground. And also the gloss coat, which you can just add to it in certain areas. You could probably use any acrylic gloss paints. And then we're going to use just toothpicks. I've got this one toothpick here that I've shaved down a little bit, and I'll show how we use them in a moment. I also have this, it's like a dental pick or whatever. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually use it or not. It depends how it goes with the toothpicks. And what we're going to do is, this is the sheet I used for my actual model, and what we're going to do is we're going to be laying down these beads. It's no different than when it's on your base. This is just what I used as a test, like for a test medium or whatever, and it's going to be the same as if you're going to put it directly on your model. So we're going to lay down these little beads. And this might take actually a little while to do, because you may have to build it up. And what you want to do is just lay down just a few beads. I'll put a bunch here. You're probably best to do it on a matte surface, because it probably won't bleed so much. It'll probably bead up a little better. So right now I've laid down the beads of the glass. And what I'll do is I'll wait for a little while. I'll probably wait maybe 15 minutes, and I'll come back in 15 minutes and show the next thing we have to do in the process. I had these sitting for maybe just a little more than 15 minutes. The idea is to just not let them fully dry. That's the idea here. And what you want to do is poke them in the middle. Some of them actually have little bubbles in them already, but you're trying to poke the middle, which I will use a toothpick to do. And you're just trying to poke it and bring it up a little bit. They're at about the right now. You can see how when I poke it, hopefully, you get that sort of reaction, like just an uneven reaction, like this. You can see sort of how it's splashing. And I mean, we could go and do all of them really, but the idea is to keep pulling them, and they will retract. Like, they just naturally retract on their own. Hopefully some of it will turn out with the effect we want. I won't do them all on camera here. I'll do this first phase, and then I will come back in a moment once I have them all sort of arranged. So I've got most of them picked out, and the idea here is, well, first off, you don't want to let them dry like completely. You want to be pretty close to drying, which I say 15 minutes is good. I wouldn't wait any longer than 20 minutes maximum. But the idea is to break the little bubble there, basically, is what you're doing. I'm not sure how well it's going to show. Like there, that might show pretty good how you're just trying to manipulate the center. And you can use anything. You want to use something fairly sharp, though. The toothpicks, for whatever, seem to be just about the best. And you want to pick them out of the center. And when these dry, they will dry like rock hard. So you want to manipulate the center, however much splash you want to give to it. Make it look really, you can make it look like really splashy. And these are also easy to fix too if you go too far. Like this one here is about peeled right off because I went too close to the edge rather than staying in the middle, but it's nothing to just add another one. And we can just manipulate it like this. Just like you would see a raindrop on the ground. They look sort of uneven, but they give you the round. When you put this, they give you like a round sort of drop. And also important is to go right in the middle, and so it looks like you've got a splash in the middle. And at this point here, like I could probably just get rid of this one, but at this point here, you can kind of decide whether you want to make these more aggressive and add more clear to it, or if you just want to use like this, the basic drops or not. Myself, I would probably just leave them because you don't want them to overdo them. I guess it's going to depend on the size of the subject you're doing. But I can show I can show here what happens if we add more. And I will come back and show these in a moment when these are dry before going on to pretty much the last step and fully curing them. So I waited about another 15 minutes for these ones that I altered. I actually haven't tried this before, so hopefully this will work out. I added a little bit to a few of these. You can see the ones that I didn't. You can see the effects, like right here on this one. But now I will try if I can get in there. You can kind of make these a little bit, just a little bit more elaborate. They'll show up a little bit more. Of course, depending on scale. But if they fall down on you, you want to just kind of keep picking at them until they're dry. Like you can see these ones that were sitting there that I tried to manipulate, they've gone back down, but if you just keep manipulating them until they fully cure. I'll do this one. And like if you mess some of them up, it's fine. I guess I found that you can kind of, if you've got a slick surface that you're doing this on, you can kind of manipulate them and sort of pull them off. And you might be able to just lay them down after you've done them. At this point here, now that I've manipulated a few of these, I'm going to do a few of the others, and I'm going to let them fully cure onto the last step. Everything should be pretty much dry at this point, and this is basically your results here. Hopefully it will show up on camera. You'll be able to see the effects. You can kind of go dramatic or just basic little tiny raindrops, because it depends what kind of a rain you're trying to simulate. These ones here on this board here, which I did it on this one because the material is a little, like it grips a little bit more to this material. This one, the white one, is more slick, but I'd say these ones are about perfect, at least for, in my opinion, for raindrops. Just something very simple like that. The last step you want to do is add to it this stuff here, which is your wet effects. And this stuff is very watery. The consistency of it is very, like a very watery substance. You may have to add several layers of it. Like I put on my original, when I did my build, you could see I put it on here. And this sort of this stuff won't hurt the drops themselves. You're just sort of sealing them in there so they don't look like they're just like on the surface. You just put it all around them. It won't hurt them. The only thing I don't like about this product, which is kind of good in a sense though, is it dries, as you can see, to like a semi-gloss sort of sheen to it. It's not really glossy. And what I do, if there's something I want to do really glossy, I'll just use a Tamiya clear. Again, any acrylic clear would be fine. And with that, just go over. I'll use some here. Just go over that other stuff, and it should gloss up. The more you put, the more glossy it will be. But I start with the wet effects first and let them dry completely, and you may have to add more. I like to add more in low spots on the dioramas. I'll show my finished one. Like, you may have to add more to the low spots and built up areas, but make sure you put it all over. I would do one coat completely over everything, and then from there I would add more in built up areas. In other areas you think that should look even more wet, add the clear effects. So this is just my way of doing it, just something that I've come up. It's kind of a simple, cheap way of doing it. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I think it gets the job done. And so really, other than that, thank you for watching.
All those moments will be lost in time, like tears.